honestly, if you feel like you want to go out and if you want to hunt, fish, whatever, pick up a bow, just do it.
Yes.
Don't wait till tomorrow because
Yes,
tomorrow
ma'am.
is going to turn into
Hmm.
the next day and then the next day and then it won't ever happen. Then you'll look back and think, damn, I could have been doing this entire time.
All right, episode 136. We are back. The Bryant Land Show. He is Antonio Marsh at Hunting with the Marshes. I am AB3 at Official Bryant Land. And today we have the absolute best Bowtech in the entire state of South Carolina, Sarah Gunter. Did I mess it up? I knew I was going to mess it up. Gunther.
No
You're good.
worries.
It's Gunther, right? So, are you a wrestling fan at all? Are you familiar with wrestling, pro wrestling?
I'm not a fan. I
Okay.
don't watch it.
So there's a guy, and I was looking at it, and I know I asked you right before we started recording, and I knew I was gonna screw it up. There's a wrestler whose name is Gunther,
Mhm.
and that's why I was just like Sarah Gunther, 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 and of course the first time it was just like Sarah Gunther. I'm so sorry. I knew I was
Oh,
gonna,
you're good.
but welcome to the Bryant Land Show. How are you this evening?
I'm doing good. How are you? Thank you for having me.
Yes, and I'm doing well. Antonio has talked so much about you since we first met. So when he pitched you as a guest, it was a natural. It's just like, hey, let's get Sarah on and let's talk about all the stuff that you got going on because you got a pretty interesting journey and some interesting things going on.
hmm A little bit. A little bit.
Antonio,
So I'm gonna tell you. I'm gonna tell you. So I'm gonna tell you how efficient she is. Okay. So Adam, when I started hunting, I went straight to the bow. It was no rifle, no nothing. Everybody's like, "You go straight to bow hunting." I said, "Hey, if we're gonna do it, you got to do it."
as you
So
should. Yep.
I don't know if you remember, I had a PSC bow, and I was doing that PSC bow just to cause my shoulder, if my shoulder, one of my shoulder was having problems. They said, "Hey, try bow hunting, strengthen it up."
Yep.
That's okay. So I was going back and forth to the academy, just kind of get field tips and whatever. So I remember I was on the range one day out there in Jackson, and for some reason my shot just kept floating to the right.
Hmm.
And I says, man, I could not figure it out. I mean, I had the sight so far over, I couldn't adjust it anymore. That's how far it was. So I went in and I told Sarah, so a classic Sarah, she was like, hmm. She's like, interesting.
I've never seen such a cluster before in my life.
Yeah, pretty
That's
much.
what that interesting was.
Yeah, so she was like, like, the professor, what's your dominant eye? I said, I don't know. I think it's my right eye. She says, hold on a second. So she leaves, comes back with a bow. She says, shoot this. And so now I'm trying to shoot it. I was like, this ain't right. She said, because it's a left-handed bow.
Oh
I
wow.
was like,
See, that's the first time I heard that. Now I didn't know you was that far off.
yeah. She said, it's a left-handed bow. I was like, what? I said, there's no way. So I get left-handed bow, pull it. Couldn't look, it was all flicked it, trying to get the, knock the arrow and everything. Three arrows, three arrows, dead center. She says, you're left-handed. You're left eye dominant. Then I had to get a left-handed bow. I
hmm
said, this girl knows what she's talking about.
That's all it
Sarah,
takes.
you remember that?
I do. And a lot of people don't realize that you can be cross dominant. So fun fact, I was actually born left-handed and right eye dominant. But it's a lot more common than people realize. And people think like, well, I can't shoot for anything, and they're just shooting the wrong bow.
Yeah, that I had the same thing. I went into Bass Pro, just kind of testing out, and I could not close like my left eye. So it was just like every time I would, like try to close one eye or whatever. It was always my right eye, and the guy was like, "Okay, you can either learn how to shoot left-handed, or you can wear a patch. It's like the choice is yours." So I was just like, "All right, I guess we'll learn how to shoot left-handed because I am a right-handed dominant person, like a right-handed. I used to bat right-handed when I played baseball, so." Like, but shooting a bow, I shoot a bow left-handed, and then when I used to do like a lot of waterfowl and stuff, excuse me, a turkey hunt with a shotgun. I shoulder my shotgun on my left shoulder. So, like you said, it is more common than you thought. And when I first started here, I was thinking I was an anomaly until you start talking to more people, and then you find out, just like you said, it is way more common.
Mhm.
So, where did you? So let's back up. Like I always like to start from the beginning before you got into being a Bowtech. Um, did you grow up hunting? Like where did you grow up and like who got you into the sport?
So, my dad taught me how to shoot when I was 5. Um, and so I really didn't like hunt or anything up until like high school or right after I graduated high school. Um, my dad got laid off and everything. And while he was looking for a job, I was like, I need to get off my butt and I need to go hunting and fishing more so I can help provide for my family. And so a friend of the family actually assisted me in just figuring out like getting things sighted in and everything because of course I hunt with a rifle. I don't hunt with my bow just yet because I don't have the confidence that I'll be able to have a clean kill
Hmm.
and a humane kill. So I'm still a rifle as of right now. But yeah, a friend of the family let me hunt on their property and everything, and I was able to feed my family and a few other families.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Mhm.
Especially to be like a Bowtech and then but really like go straight to the rifle. That
Yeah.
is
Mhm.
pretty right,
Yes.
Antonio?
Yeah. Yeah, so like I got my job as Sportsman because I was always in there, always going to
Mm,
Columbia. And I was in there one day and I was talking with one of the managers, Byron Williams,
mm-hmm.
super nice guy. And I was telling him, well, I'm at the time, I'm going to Piedmont Tech for the gunsmithing program. And so he was like really interested in that. And every time I would come in, I would show him like what projects I was working on, and things of that sort. And one day I walked in, I had just graduated the gunsmithing program 3 weeks prior. He was like, "Hey, we have a position open here." And he's like, "You want to interview?" And I'm like, "Yes." And 30 minutes later, I had an interview. That was on a Friday. And then Monday, I got that call that I got the job.
Wow.
Mhm.
So just when you were like starting out, like with your hunting and fishing and stuff, did you think that you would have like a job like in the industry or like in a store or whatever?
Mm-mm. No, I honestly like it just fell into my lap. It's like it sounds kind of funny to say, but it just like the job opportunity just presented itself, and I was like, this was meant for me.
Yeah. Yeah. So with the gunsmith then, like that's interesting. First of all, I didn't never really thought about it, but obviously it has to be some kind of certification or you go to some kind of school or whatever. How did that come about? Like how what made you like interested in doing that?
So it's a whole bunch of funny stories, honestly. My dad worked at the nuclear plant, and a lot of his coworkers were talking about the gunsmithing program at Piedmont Tech. And I would just get bored, take my dad's guns apart and everything, put them back together, just tinkering around with them. And he recommended that I look into that program, and I did.
Wow. So just the nature of just wanting to take apart, wanting to tinker and all that
Mhm.
stuff. And like you said, with your dad being working at the power plant, like you just already just oozing with like top quality smart genes. Like it's just in your blood,
Yeah.
huh?
Nerd from birth.
Maybe, maybe.
What'd you say, Antonio?
Hey, nerd from birth.
Oh my
I'm telling you, man.
Honestly, I can agree with that because even my professor and my mentor is like, you are nerding out like big time.
So like what like okay, so when you say you nerding out, like especially like with gunsmithing or like breaking down and working on bows and stuff like that, like when you say nerding out, like what do you mean? Like what would like I guess what I'm trying to say is like what does that look like?
Something catches my eye and then I go down a rabbit hole and I think like, for instance, like a particular bow brand that I like, I'm like, okay, a lot of people like this brand. Let me look into it. And then I'm like, oh, carbon risers. Okay, I really love carbon risers. So I'm like, okay, well, what's this cam system? What is this cam system? Which is better for what I want to do? And it's just like, okay, now what all accessories do I need to make it like the lightest that I can get it? And I just started going down a rabbit hole of, okay, I need this, 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 and this.
So have you taken like different pieces and stuff and like build a bow or build a bow for somebody like with different parts?
No, the only thing that I've done is just take a bare bow itself, with no accessories on it, and then help people outfit them for what they want.
Oh, what what are you pointing at your bow for, Antonio?
Because I've helped him a handful of times pick out accessories that I think would be good for him.
Yeah. So that
Hey,
all
man. Yeah, I'm telling you, because Sportsman had an indoor range, and you can go in there and
Mhm.
shoot. And I'm saying like, oh, that's hitting dead all. Sir be like, nah, hold on, let me see that for a second. I'm like, well,
Mhm.
baby, I thought it was good. Go to make a little adjustment. I was like, damn, how did she see that?
yeah. That like I said, that tinkering is definitely a skill in itself and the patience to tinker because like sometimes when I start like tinkering my bow and stuff it's just like you get so far off from where you had it then it's almost like I just lose patience and then you spend more time trying to get it back to square one like
Mhm.
um and then with the guns, like you said, like gunsmithing and whatnot, have you built like any kind of like rifles or anything like that on different platforms? Or like, have you gotten that deep into it?
So for the program, since it's been, oh gosh, almost 10 years, it's been a hot minute. I know we were given a receiver, we were given a blank barrel. We had to do like the chambering, the muzzle, the thread extensions, and I loved doing threads. That was like my favorite thing. And then attach the barrel to the receiver, making sure that it was like in headspace and everything. And then we had to test shoot the rifle without a stock on it. And then we also had like 300 hours into stock work.
Wow. And all of this was a part of your the
Mhm.
gunsmithing program.
Yep.
How long did it take you to complete it?
It was, I think, a year and a half. It was the Piedmont Tech Gunsmithing program led by Jerry Capone,
Hmm.
but unfortunately, he recently passed away. So of course, that program is going to be a little bit different now.
Yeah, got you. Okay. Wow. That is a pure deep dive. Like I have a buddy
Mhm.
that's a big gun person, and I had no idea like all the stuff that goes and entails with like tinkering and stuff. Because it's like you were saying, like with the threads and stuff like that. So like, are there pieces that you can go in and like customize like a barrel so it'll have like different threads or spin like a certain way or what?
Um, in all honesty, I couldn't really give you an answer to that one since it's been so long. I went from hardcore gun stuff to archery. So I didn't really deep dive too far into that. Once I had the new shiny object in my sights, I was like, "Ooh, something new," and I ran with it.
So was that okay? So that begs the next question because you started out as such a gun girl, and then moving over to archery. What was that pull? What was that draw? Was it just something new to start fresh with and start like tinkering with, or what?
I wanted a challenge,
Mm.
Yeah.
because I don't want to toot my own horn or brag or anything, but
Oh, toot it. That is
Do
what it is
this. Woo,
for.
woo.
I was this is gonna sound so dumb, but I was trained for headshots at about 240 yards, so I wanted something like a little bit more challenging. And I talked to my dad about it, and he bow hunted growing up, and I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that might be where I get this from. And he was like, try archery. Um, and I did, and I loved it. That was my life for 4.5 years, like my absolute life.
No,
Wow. So
I feel you.
go
I feel you.
ahead.
I'm sorry, Adam. I
No,
feel
no,
you
no, go ahead.
because the first time I actually shot a hog, why I shot that hog dead center, I had no idea. I think because if something was in front of me, it was like, dude, just shoot it. But after that, everything headshot. And I even taught my daughter, my wife, I'm taking my son into it. I said, whatever, especially on hogs, wherever you shoot, headshot, because we ain't got to go looking for it. I'm telling you, it makes it so much easier.
Yeah, with a rifle, but the thing that kind of grabbed me when you said is like you was trained to make like headshots at 200 yards. This is just like you working with your dad. Like, is there some special forces training that you can't speak of? Like what? Like
Um,
how?
no, so the person that was helping me, the friend of the family, he was like, if I can train you for headshots at that distance, I know you're not going to flinch and you're not going to miss. So that way, whenever you're aiming for the heart, because I personally aim for the heart, because I've seen a lot of people pull last second and see the aftermath of that.
Yeah.
My favorite thing, and that I've been lucky enough to do is to blow out the aortic artery, that chunk of it, and I blow out the left ventricle and atrium. So like half the heart's gone by the time I get done with it.
Wow. And
I'm out there just shooting.
I was about to say, like, I can't even fathom being as a person who has never picked up a rifle. Like I've always like I only bow hunt the entire like deer season. Same thing with hogs, turkeys, whatever. Like I only do it with my bow. But just the like how many reps, like how long did it take you to get good and competent and like confident at making shots from 200 yards? Like that's amazing to me.
Um, 5 rounds,
Stop playing. That's it.
five rounds.
You
That's
went,
it.
and this was after like growing up, like shooting a
Mhm.
rifle. Like, what
Yeah.
age was this? Like, do you remember?
So that was going to be, I think, around 2013. Oh my gosh, this is going to show my age like crazy. 18.
Yeah.
I was like 21 at the time for
Okay.
that. So
Yep.
I've had like plenty of like experience with like lesser calibers. But doing that distance was with my 30-30. Everything else had just been 22. And I don't count the 22 stuff.
Right. Wow. But like to your point, like you said, being around it and learning how to shoot since you were 5 years old,
Mhm.
like, wow, that's still. That's remarkable. To me, that's remarkable. It's impressive, especially just as somebody that cannot fathom taking a rifle, looking at something 200 yards away through a scope. I mean, I have a hard enough time. I just got my peep sight adjusted with the glass so I can see my pins clear. So I can't imagine being able trying to hit something efficiently at 200 freaking yards. Wow. That-
Yeah, it's really hard to describe because I just like lock in whether it was with a rifle, my bow, or even my camera. I like lock in on something, and wherever I lock in, that's 9 times out of 10 what I get and where I hit.
wow. That is definitely a skill. That, man. So with your bow then, with your practices and stuff, what's the farthest that you shot your bow? What's the furthest that you shot it, and what's the furthest that you feel comfortable shooting it?
The farthest I've done with my bow is 90 yards.
Man, what? Dude, I get past 40 and I'm suspect. I'm dead serious. Look, if you ain't 25, 30 yards, dear, you probably safe.
Wow.
And that's just like target practice and stuff, but
Yep.
normal, what I normally shoot is like maybe 25, 30 on basic shooting.
Mm.
But my longest shot was 90 and I just winged it.
Yeah. Yeah. That supposedly, and I've seen it a little bit in my shooting and my practicing over the summer. Um, excuse me, the longer you shoot, like the longer distance that you shoot, the easier it's supposed to be to hit like the closer the closer targets. And I've seen some
Mhm.
improvement. Actually, I've seen a good bit of improvement from just doing that over the summer, but I'm definitely like I don't know, my form is not the greatest. Um, but if I can be efficient from in practice from 40 or 50, then the confidence for 15, 20, which is where I like killing deer or anything in deer,
Mhm.
hogs, turkeys, whatever. Like I like them in that 15 to 20 yard cushion. Like anything further than that, to me, it just defeats the whole purpose of bow hunting. That, in my opinion, because like I said, I
Mhm.
just like them close. But
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I like to get them close.
definitely.
so
Yeah, I don't see the point in hunting that long of a distance. In all honesty, if you're gonna shoot more than 35 yards, you might as well just pull out a rifle.
right, right.
Now,
So
I will say with that long shot that I did, I wasn't the most accurate. I will say that, but I just said to heck with it and shot it.
this way I winged it. It's like you're
Yep. hmm It
absolutely.
was not pretty. It was not pretty.
Was it just like was it a pie play, like just a basic like block target or what?
It was, oh gosh. I can't even remember the name of the bags, but it was like
But it's a bag target.
yeah,
Okay, gotcha,
yeah.
gotcha. Man, impressive. Very, very impressive. So what is it gonna take for you to get out there and try to take something with your bow?
Um, after me graduating, honestly,
Mm,
because the bulk of my time has been on campus from like 8 a.m. until like 6 p.m. And right now I'm actually on campus. So it's like taking up the majority of my time, but hopefully, once I graduate, I'll be able to actually pick up my bow again and start practicing again, because I shelved my bow for a little while.
mm,
Um,
gotcha.
and hopefully soon, because I miss it.
Yeah, yeah. When I go even like a week or so without shooting my bow because of work or whatnot. It's just like I feel, even though it's not that bad because it's only a week, I almost feel like I'm starting from scratch again. Like that's
Mhm.
so much like I miss, it. Especially. And I know it's compound. Like if it was like a traditional longbow or recurve or whatever, you nearly have to shoot every day unless you just got that special skill set or whatever.
Mhm.
Well, you
Hey,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
it's
say,
that muscle memory.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something, Sarah, because I listened to you talking about earlier, not really hunting with the bow. I was the same way. When I first started, I had no desire to hunt that bow because the confidence was not there. I'm not gonna lie
Mhm.
to you. So what forced me to start bow hunting was out of that primary one we had,
Yep.
it flooded so bad that the feeder was damn near up by the road. So the deer weren't coming in. So it forced me to go down to that primary two in the blind.
Yep.
So I said, well, you know what? Let me just go sit and try it. So even like the first opportunity that I had, the deer came in and I was still really hesitant about taking a shot with that bow. But I said, you know what? I said, dude, you have spent countless hours at the range. You've been out there sportsman shooting, getting this bow tuned in. Hey, it's showtime, man. Like I said, it just got real, guy. It got real. What you gonna do? And letting
Hey.
that arrow fly. And I said, you know what? Everything you practice, it came, it was there. So, Sarah, one thing I would say is, hey, just, what did it say? Let it fly, let it rip, see what happens.
Yeah, I lost the confidence that I had. So hopefully soon I'll be able to like build that back up. Because also since I haven't shot in like 5 years
Oh wow.
almost. Yeah. I a family member, my dad passed. And so when he passed, I hung my bow up for a while.
Hey,
Um, so
it's
yeah.
understandable. So,
Yeah.
but that might be, get back out there and shoot. That might help you. Hey, let me shoot this bow, put some of these, get that deer down and be like, hey, I'm in there. I did it. You know. So hey, like I tell you, I was so scared. I was so scared about shooting that bow. But that might be like some good, just like you said, what's the word? Not relief, but something where hey, let me pump my chest out and say, man, I did that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's like a release, and sometimes it's the best way to honor our loved ones is doing stuff
Yeah.
that that they would have wanted us to do or that we know that they love doing, themselves. So, no, totally understand that. And it leads to a great segue to the other thing I wanted to talk to you about because it all goes hand in hand. Just, talking to Antonio and then talking to you before we got ready to record, one of the things that I really like is just like how like all the stuff that you do, like whether it's far as like whether you go into school or your upbringing, like with learning how to shoot in the outdoors, like it all ties together. So like you are currently in school for environmental science. What? So let me make sure I got the timeline correct. So you became a trained assassin. You started working at, you
Hey,
start
John Wick.
right. You started working at Sportsman, and then you said, "Dadgummit, this is enough. Let me go to school for environmental science." So how did that come about?
So of course, whenever my dad died, I just felt really like stagnant. I
Mm,
felt like I was supposed to be doing something, and don't get me wrong, like I wouldn't trade the Sportsman's Warehouse like experience for anything because I got to meet so many amazing people, but I felt like there was something more for me to do.
mm.
And so I just happened to go on Lander's website for something environmental. Um, and I found chemistry, and I'm not good at chemistry, but they had a subcategory which is environmental science. So now I get to do these amazing things like physics, geology. I'm learning hydrogeology in my own time. I'm learning GIS stuff, which is like making maps and everything,
Okay.
which led me to being pretty good at what I do now and I love and presenting at things like academic symposiums and stuff for projects that I've like researched and have
Wow.
been able to present.
Nice. Nice. And I'm sure with that major, it's helped you to become even more of a better woodsman than you already were. Is that a true assumption?
Hmm.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, it's opened the door for a lot of things like if I wanted to, I could go into the GIS department, the forestry department, DNR with either the wildlife, archaeological, geological department. Heck, for retirement, I want to like move out west and
Mhm.
work in a national park in my olden days.
Olden days.
Yeah.
Pass out commemorative coins and tell people
Hmm.
about the gushers at Yellowstone.
Yeah, those are the 1800s.
Hmm.
All right.
Yeah, that's actually a project that I did for the academic symposium.
Oh
Was
wow.
about Yellowstone.
Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
And then when you say GIS, just for those of us that are slow like myself and for our audience that may not know, what is GIS and what does that entail?
Oh gosh. Okay. So I'm gonna actually have to look up the official name for it. I'm so sorry. Um
I'm sorry to put you on the spot.
oh, you are fine, I promise. That's why I have a laptop behind me.
I said,
Okay.
that's like mapping, ain't it?
It is. So I
I
can
know she
take
said mapping, so that's why
mhm.
it's like geography, and then I'm stumped on the I and the S. I'm not even gonna lie.
It's
Yeah.
geographic information system.
Okay,
So
okay, I was in the
um
ballpark. Okay.
mhm. Yeah, so I can do static maps or paper maps, or I can do interactive maps online with like coding and everything. So like um say Google Maps, for example, if you need to I literally could replicate Google Maps. Or I can make it interactive. Like we could hover over Yellowstone and I could have markers set up for the different basins and everything, and then we can click on it and it would bring you to that basin.
Wow.
The CIA material.
Wow.
No. And like if you're looking for like pollution points, I
Mhm.
can actually just mark pollution points on a map because I did that for lead pollution in the Saluda River recently.
Okay.
Dang.
Hmm.
Yeah. You said
Like
some classes I can't even spell.
I was about to say you put Onyx to shame with the stuff that you can do. You come out with your own app.
That's definitely a possibility. Definitely a possibility. I just don't have the computer genius for it.
Yeah. Wow.
Please.
Man.
Look, my master's program, I have to take psychological statistics. I said, yeah, no, I don't need a master's degree that bad. I'm good.
Yeah. I sit these conversations out because the media arts and journalism guy here, we I stopped at my bachelor's degree. So
Yeah,
you
man. Mm-mm. That's good. But yeah, I tell you, man, that sounds like some interesting stuff. So you got sound like you got a whole bunch of different pathways you can take with this field.
Yeah, I've been speaking with DNR about like trying to get like my foot in the door. And then the forestry department was another thing that I was told about. And I think that would be amazing because I love field work. I'm a little field rat. I can do lab work, but I prefer to be in the field.
Yeah, forestry's definitely. I can tell you, forestry's definitely hiring.
Okay.
USA Jobs
Mhm.
yeah, that
plug to
that'd
the
be
government.
what you say?
That's a plug to the government.
the Yeah, just like the boots on, like being outside and like burning the shoe leather or the boot leather or whatever, and you just learn so much just being like out there. Like I can imagine just for a major because I learn something almost every time I go out in the woods, and that's just like trying to find, better areas to hunt or trying to figure out what the sign and stuff is telling me. So I can imagine, like for scientific purposes, the amount of stuff that you learn just from being out there.
Mhm.
So
Yeah. Take it. Much props to you.
yes.
Thanks.
Absolutely. How much do you have? How much time do you have left? Yeah, you said you were graduating. You graduated in December?
December 16th.
Nice.
Around
Nice.
the corner.
Yeah, I cannot wait. And I still need to get you that information on my graduation tickets. I have just been a little slacking recently.
Hey, it's
Sorry.
all good.
Yeah.
Give it to me. I'm gonna try to get up there in the 10.
That's awesome. That is a beautiful thing. We gotta make sure we get you a nice graduation gift too. So
Mm, you
um
don't have to do that.
I will lean heavily on Antonio for graduation ideas, but we'll talk gift ideas, but we will talk about that later. So let me ask you this before we get you out of here. This I want you to, and you might just have an answer that automatically pops in your head. Best hunting story or best like hunting memory or anything that like biggest fish that you caught, like it can be either or.
Okay, I've got two. So
Okay.
hunting is going to be one of my best friends at the time took me hunting at their private hunt club, and we were just sitting, didn't see anything, didn't shoot anything, but we actually saw a buck chase a doe. And it
Mm.
was just the coolest thing because it was like from the top of the hill all the way down through the valley and everything. And we were just like sitting there like dumbfounded. It was just really cool to see.
Full speed, like they was
Full
running.
speed.
Nice.
It was the height of rut.
Yeah.
He was definitely tailing her. But fishing would be so my future mother-in-law actually paid for us to go on a fishing charter, and I one outfished the Florida boys, which was amazing. But I caught a red drum that was 33 inches.
Wow.
Mm.
Yeah, and like of course, like I said, like my dad passed away of cancer, and he was like, well, whenever I beat this, like we're gonna go on a charter, we're gonna go for a drum, we're gonna do all of this stuff, and we never got to.
Hmm.
And I got the biggest one.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like fish you're not getting away today. 33 inches? That's big.
Oh,
That's a whole lot of fillet.
oh. Yeah, because I caught four red drum, a jackfish, a bull shark, um,
Dang.
and then some other stuff. Like out fishing everybody else.
Oh yeah, you was fishing. You was pulling
I
them
was
in.
fishing. I was fishing.
Wow. Golly. So like so like with you being in school, like I know you say you don't have a lot of time, obviously for your bow, like do you still like fish? Like do you have time for that or?
No, I haven't made the time.
Yeah.
Um, it's kind of one of those like my dad and I would go fishing kind of thing, and I don't have the heart to do it right now. Hopefully soon. Like I wasn't about to turn down a completely paid charter.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I'd have to be crazy, but hopefully, um, after I graduate, one of the guys actually from Sportsman's, Whit Edmonds, has a fishing charter. I don't remember if you've met him or not, but
I don't know.
sweet guy. He actually does charters in I think Charleston, if I'm not
Okay.
mistaken.
Yep.
And I'm gonna hit him up after I graduate so I can do some fishing.
Okay.
There you go. There you go. That that would be, like a really great post graduation. Like, you should
Mhm.
talk him into it and just be like, hey, that could be the graduation gift from him. So see,
Mm.
and you were wondering how you would get through this, and it was easy peasy.
Yeah.
I even behaved.
I was about to say, and then yeah, Antonio was on his good behavior for Antonio. So we
Well, Antonio, yeah, I was on my best behavior today.
You're always on your best behavior. Always.
Oh, you,
I get a little rowdy
I
sometimes
was
every
about to
now and
say
then.
you go back and look at some more of our shows. You might would change your tune.
Well, I can say in person, he's always been well behaved and really chill.
Yeah, he's a solid dude. That's why we keep him around. He's a solid dude.
Yeah.
Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. Is there anything that you would like our listeners to know or anything like that? I'm not sure. Are you a big social media person? Or are you kind of low key, keep to yourself, stay away from me, kind of, which I fully understand because I'm like that as well at times. So-
Oh my
Um,
God.
as of right now, I'm pretty low key on like socials. If I go onto like geological digs or something, I'll post a little bit, but other than that, I'm a pretty private person. As far as like any wise words or anything, honestly, if you feel like you want to go out and if you want to hunt, fish, whatever, pick up a bow, just do it. Don't
Yes.
wait till tomorrow because
It's
tomorrow
real.
is going to turn into the
Mhm.
next day and then the next day and then it won't ever happen. Then you'll look back and think, damn, I could have been doing this entire time.
Mm, that's it right there.
That's the best. Hey, it's the best thing I heard all week.
Yep. That is the best way to put it to put a button on this thing. Sarah, thank you so much for joining us. And after graduation and you get out and you get back into some hunting and fishing and you got to come back and tell us some more great stories.
Will do. Thank you so much for having me.
Absolutely.